A new report gives the state's A through F report cards for public schools failing marks. Researchers say the way a single letter grade is calculated for each school is so flawed that the new grading system is not salvageable. The State Department of Education says it is reviewing the report and that it is too early to comment on the findings.
9 times 2 is how much? 18.
A single letter grade of A through F is what the state now uses to indicate how well each school educates children.
Problem solved. Okay, so you already did your facts in here, right?
A single grade can absolutely not tell the story.
Drew Eichelberger is the executive director for elementary education for Putnam City Schools. He's one of dozens of educators taking a new seminar by the Cooperative Council for Oklahoma School Administration to learn how the State Department of Education measures student achievement to determine each school's overall grade. Jennifer Stegman facilitates the workshops.
Because they don't have a clear understanding of all the measures and how those are affecting the grades within the A through F grading system.
Eichelberger's first surprise? It takes more than the traditional grade point average score for a school to earn an A.
We really weren't shooting for 3.75. We were shooting for 3.83 to get an A. So that was eye-opening to me.
Just understanding the measures and how they're being measured is helping them identify strategies to improve their overall grade.
Keisha, just walk straight, stay in your line and go.
Oklahoma's new A through F report cards for public schools is supposed to be a simple way for educators, parents, students, and communities to know how well each school performs and whether it shows improvement.
I pretty much did the same thing.
2 years ago, the legislature approved using the A through F report card system as part of the state's waiver from participation in the federal No Child Left Behind policy. NCLB measured school performance with a system many outside the education field found confusing. But even as the State Board of Education adopted rules for determining grades, red flags about the accuracy and fairness of how grades would be determined raised concerns among school administrators, like Tulsa Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Keith Ballard.
We were hoping that we would be listened to, but we weren't at all.
When the first grades were about to be released by the State Department of Education last fall, more than 300 school superintendents loudly protested, claiming methods used to determine the grades didn't make sense. That controversy prompted the Oklahoma State School Boards Association and the Cooperative Council for Oklahoma School Administration to commission a study of the accuracy and fairness of the rules by independent researchers at the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State University.
Commissioned them because of all the questions we were getting from our members, as well as the comments made by the state board when they approved the final version that went out to schools, was that it wasn't a perfect system, that it needed to be improved, that they were willing to look at ways to improve it.
Dr. Patrick Forsyth is the co-director of the Oklahoma Center for Education Policy at OU and one of the researchers involved in the study.
We concluded that there is so much wrong with the current system that it would be best to design it from the floor up.
Our goal was never to do away with it. It is not today to do away with accountability or the A to F system. It is to make it more valid, more reliable, and more useful.
One of the biggest problems researchers found with the current system is that each school's performance receives a single letter grade.
If you think about what a report card looks like for a child doesn't get a single grade for their performance for the year. They get grades in different areas. And that helps not only the child, but the parents of that child to seek ways of improving and changing, because it's focused on what the strengths and weaknesses are. If you put it all together, lump it together in a single indicator, there's no way of interpreting that.
In their report, researchers gave recommendations the State Department of Education could use to develop a report card that gives letter grades in multiple categories to more accurately reflect a school's performance. Among them, use trends in assessments throughout the school year and over multiple school years to determine growth in school performance. Make explicit the limitations of the accountability system, and warn of the inappropriate use of the grading system for high-stakes decision-making, such as closing a school, firing a teacher, or moving students to another school.
If you put in place a system that then the public schools view as unfair and public educators have no faith in, it's hard to believe, since they are the people who have to enact the improvements, that that's going to happen. So getting buy-in of all the sectors of the education community is important. It doesn't mean we all have to agree on every piece, but certainly there has to be a perception that there's general fairness in the system. And it seems that that is not the case with the present system.
Crawford expects districts will have to live with the present system for at least a year or two. But several bills have been filed for the upcoming legislative session that seek to tweak the system.
Whether they toss it or not and start all over, or whether they tweak it, it certainly needs some major overhaul.
State School Board member Joy Hoffmeister says she hasn't seen any proposed legislation yet, but will watch bills to refine the grading process as they progress through the legislature.
I am hopeful that we are going to be able to create a new accountability system through this refinement process that is going to be very useful, valid, reliable, and serve the community.
In the meantime, COSA says dozens of districts from all corners of the state are signing up for its workshops to help them understand how they're being graded by the State Department of Education and how to adapt to any changes in the grading system in a way that will benefit their students.